All right, and welcome back. All right, so we're gonna just fill this in with some color. I'd like to start off doing something a little bit maybe more painterly, or just not your traditional sort of flat cartoon colors. So we'll grab a water brush in just a second. And I think for this layer, whoa, what are we gonna do? This one with the color. Maybe we could put it behind the sketch and then just make this a little bit more transparent, right? As in a lot more transparent. Okay, so switch back over here to that layer. And again, I'm going to use so we're going over here to paint the water brush. This brush definitely tends to, I think it keeps you kind of loose in a sense. And by that, I mean, look how sort of watery it is. Maybe it's hard to see on that. Well, we could switch to a different color background. How about that? So you can kind of get the idea of. I actually accidentally painted there. Don't want to do that. There we go. Now you can get an idea. See how kind of sort of wet that is. I guess it's got the name of water brush for a reason. So let's just start getting kind of roughing in where the head was. Maybe take the size down just a bit so it's not too out of control. And yeah, again, so one thing this will sort of keep us from doing is, filling in things, right? Just dragging a color out and filling it in, because I think in a sense that sort of defeats the purpose of keeping things sort of nice and loose, and kind of letting some happy accidents occur, right? So, and you can see there's already some kind of interesting stuff happening where I just sort of miss parts or just on the sides, right? And that's, again, that's kind of, I think, the point of using a brush like this. And then maybe what happens is you figure out later on that that weird thing that happened is something that you want to do in another version of it. I might do this on a different layer altogether. So go up a little bit. And so I'm just kind of darkening the middle of it. And I might take that opacity down just a little bit more to begin with. And again, just kind of getting this in here, see what's going to happen. I'll probably go over top that for some highlights on the nose in a moment, but maybe add back a little bit over here, take the size down some, but again, just trying to be pretty loose with it. Okay, and now that we've got that in there, let's I'm kind of fine merging these together. I think that'll look good enough. I'm going to create a new layer. Let's do the whites of the eyes. So we'll come over here and make the brush just a little bit smaller. And obviously, there's going to be a big old eyeball right there, so I don't have to do too much on that. But let's see, get that. Okay, so let's have a little fun with that eye now. And, just in case we make a disaster of it, let's go ahead and bump up one more layer. And we'll give this guy or girl, I don't know if we've really figured out which is which yet. The hair is a little ambiguous. So let's see what that's doing. Okay, that's probably, yeah, it's probably an alright color for now, for the outside of it. Might take the opacity down just a little bit so I can, I don't know, so I can do something. Okay, let's go back. Let's get dark in the middle here. I might even go even darker than this. So that nice, beautiful little reflection I've now drawn over, but we can bring it back in just a moment. Okay. You know, if you hold down over here, it'll flip you back to whatever color you had before. Just gotta hold down a moment. All right, so let's kind of fade these two into each other a little bit. Certainly where the Apple Pencil comes in handy. Let's go grab that white. I'm gonna do kind of like a lighter pass at this initially, right? Keeping it kind of light, and then darken it, or lighten it a lot more right in the middle. Okay, so it kind of fades out just a little bit around there. I feel like we could get away doing that on the other side as well. Just a wee bit of it. And then throughout the middle, here, let's go ahead and sample this color. I'll lighten that up a little bit. Let's make the brush kind of small, and then we'll just go through here and add some of those lines in. And you could even do the opposite too. You could take a darker color, of course. You know, make some darker lines, right? Might take that up a little bit and just darken that whole area some. Okay, if you get a eye that you like, you know, we don't really need to see the same thing twice. So let's just go ahead and swipe right on this. We'll duplicate it. So give us a whole new layer of another eye. We'll move this one over there. Again, kind of, oops. Let me let go of that. Kind of cheating it a little bit, but I think that's okay. Just in the interest of time, I gotta turn magnetic off for moving this thing around. I'm gonna freeform and put it right over there. Okay, let's go ahead and merge that down. I could probably merge this down as well. Let's go ahead and make another layer up top this way. I've already got a dark color. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Let's make the brush a little bit smaller. Get some of these eyebrows in there. Even smaller. Almost to the point of a small pencil now. Looks good. How's it looking on your end? By the way, if you were watching this on YouTube, I don't know where I'm going to put this yet, but if you're watching it over there, feel free to like it. Always makes me feel good. You might not be though. All right, let's get a little red in here. I'm going to do this underneath the eye. So add a little bit of that over there. Almost distresses the character a little bit. You know, makes them look a little bit more intense. And it's a nice way too to just kind of outline the bottom of it. You know, if we're gonna try to consciously avoid to do too many hard lines like that, this is a way to kind of outline it a little bit without making it too cartoony. Let's go and add a little bit more light. I don't really care what layer I'm working on right now. Again, we'll probably just end up compressing a lot of these. But I'm going to bump this up a little bit. Let's give us a little bit more light over on this side. And then the opposite at the bottom. So just a little bit more shadow. Like that. Let's see. I'm going to go and take kind of a dark brown underneath here. Oh, nah, I don't think so. Didn't work as planned. Just going for a little bit of extra darkness down there, but not sure that's what I want. Yeah, we'll leave it for now. Okay, let's see. Let's do the hair, obviously. So I'm gonna go and go up another layer. Still kind of keep it underneath the sketch layer. All right, I'm sure this is probably what made when I was practicing for this. I'm sure this is what made it seem like a Phantasy Star character. I gave it some purple hair, and is that the right color purple? Is there a bad color purple? Probably not. Okay, I think that's about what I'm going for. So let's just go ahead and do it. I'm going to kind of keep my left hand over here on the brush size. Or actually, no, that's the opacity. I got to get between my microphone in that little area. But, as I'm kind of coming down to some parts like that, I'll try to make the brush a little bit smaller so I can refine it some. Might tuck that in just a little bit. So any other near 40-year-olds out there that used to play Phantasy Star, Phantasy Star 2, I should say, that I was obsessed with. Can't remember. I feel like it had a different ending depending on who you played. Maybe I'm making that up. Well, it had this huge cliffhanger ending, and then the next game, Phantasy Star 3, came out, and they didn't really address it, like what happened to the group. I think they talked about them. The group was like in the third one, ancestors or something like that from the second one, but you wanted to just continue it right where it left off. All right, so now that we've got that, let's go ahead and darken this guy up. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. And take the opacity down. Okay, yeah, so what are we going to do here? Which side is the lighter one? I don't know. I'm going to make the brush just a bit bigger. Okay. Do a little bit of it everywhere. And then let's turn the opacity up a little bit. Again, we'll kind of layer this in many times, so it's. Ooh. Oh, not that that's bad. We could do some stuff like that. It's just wasn't really planning to do it right then. Okay, let's give it a little bit of shadowing underneath there. We'll work back into the hair in just a moment, but kind of craving to see what this will look like. So for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the opacity all the way up on the brush. So I've got a nice dark brush like that. But then I'm going to go to the layer and see the little N icon, and then take the opacity on the layer down. So that way I don't kind of double up the shadowing. So you can see I can kind of go over this many times, and it's not going to, kind of walk back over itself. At times you do want something like that, but I don't want it right here. Because obviously you can have double the shadows in nature. You can have multiple light sources, multiple shadows. Okay. And in fact, maybe a perfect place for that would be, let's make one more layer, go up one, and we could do that underneath the eyebrow. For example, right here. Okay. Let's try something real quick. Let's take the opacity back up on this some. So it might be fun to see a little bit of that sketchiness over top there. And like I was saying, let's go back over here to the hair layer. Maybe even go up a layer. So we play around on top of this, and let's darken it up some. Okay. I think that was my let's go back to Phantasy Star so we have something to talk about. I think that was the last one I played, the third one after that. I don't think I went on to 4, whatever that was released on. Yeah, there was a point where I just decided, wait a minute, video games are kind of a big waste of time. No, say it's not so. Someone out there just disliked the video. What? That's not true. It can't be. But, there's some Simpsons Halloween special where was it like a missile was coming to Springfield, and comic book guy just goes, "Oh God, I've wasted my life." All right, let's go. Let's get a little hot pink in here, right? See how that's gonna look. Yeah, baby. Give me some of those hot colors. Look at that. And there's that kind of little bit of the, I don't know, it's like the light hitting the contour of the head or something like that. Almost back into pencil mode. The brush is so small. Let's see what would happen if we did sort of the opposite of that underneath. I don't know. Not opposed to more lines. It's just not right there. Said every artist everywhere. Oh, I'm 4 lines. I'm just not right there. Yeah, and it would, at a point maybe that you do want to go back in here, as I'm doing now, and then just working over top of your your beautiful color layer and seeing what bringing back some of those lines would do. In fact, I liked how that pink was popping so much. You might want to go through here and do some stuff like that even. Just to see what it looks like. Of course, we've got the undo option, but you know, if you're going to be real experimental, you might want to put it on another layer, and that way you can just kind of get rid of it real quick. Okay, so yeah, I kind of worked outside the lines in a few places, but that's okay. And you know, once you kind of get it all together, I'd probably leave the sketch layer alone. In fact, I might duplicate this and move it over. But yeah, so let's swipe right on these layers. Whenever I hear swipe right, I think of Tinder. But not that I'm on it, but you know, it's now in the world psyche, swiping left or right. So I've merged them all into one layer, and then we could have some fun with some lights. So I could go over here and select, just the this artwork. So that way I don't have I can kind of do stuff like this, and I won't work outside the lines. And then we could go on another layer and grab, maybe like a hot type of blue or something, and just see what it would look like with, some of these light and screen or add effects. Some extra color coming in there. Maybe she's a spy and she's checking in on her. She's reading her email, looking at a computer screen. That's what spies do, is they look at computer screens. But really, I just think it's fun to draw a totally different color after the fact, just to see what it looks like. Well, it obviously gives you some ideas for, if we were just doing this to play around, which we are, but to maybe get some color ideas for a more flat version or sort of traditional cartoon version of it. I think this is a neat way of kind of prototyping it. So you can see, you can always check out some of these other versions. Ooh, look at that. She's angry. Oh, that's kind of a nice one. Yeah, it's something about that I like. So there you go. Happy accident. We can all hope for as much in life, that our accidents are happy ones, especially in our older years. Oh, look what's going on over there. That is something else, huh? One more time, I want to just play around with... Oh, no, that's the other layer. Oh. Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously takes away a lot of the nice stuff that we did with the eye when you bring it back up again. But it does look cool. Okay, so there's all sorts of different things we can do with this, but we can be here all day playing around with things. Let's come back in one more video, and we'll do a more traditional render on it. See what it looks like. some of those flatter colors, using this as our color guide maybe. Okay,